The Saga of the Lords of Mu. Aramomuru. Serpentine Father. Aramomeu, Serpentine Mother. The legend goes that just before the final destruction of Lemuria, Sanat Kumara, grandfather to the Solar Brotherhood, assigned his heir Aramomuru and 12 other Serpentine lords to take the records and power objects of the Amaru to various parts of the world for safekeeping. These beings were the hybrid children of the Anunnaki and the elder earth race of the Ezur. Aramomuru kings, and their servants from the stars, depicted on rock wall in the American Rockies. Notice they had swords, crowns, and armor, not very Native American, neither is the geometry. These groups or rings as they were called would later become known in our history as founding genetic lines or clans, with origins back to the root race or the elder race, an original earth race. These rings were placed in each culture. Ancient societies of the Seven Rays Solar Brotherhood. Nagas, serpents in Sanskrit, of Indus, India. The earliest Mayans and their first serpent kings, Karamaya and Nagamaya. Later the serpentine kings Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl, creating the Atsa Maya culture of South America. The lung dragons of China, and an interesting fact is that an ancient Chinese term for dragon was Naga. Amarus and Kontichi Viracaka of Peru. The Zohar is said to have passed from Adam to Noah and then to Abraham, who immigrated to Egypt. The Zohar or the Books of Splendor were the original texts of the Kabbalah. An earlier priest cult in Egypt was specifically formed to take care of the royalty that went by the title of Mesa or Crocodile Lords, who also lay claim to the Adam or Amen, Sun King, as being their camera. The early Egyptians who built the pyramids were called the Naga, which may be due to the influence of the Olmec returning to North Africa from the lands of the Maya. The Azteca who absorbed the cultures and religions of Mesoamerica had the goddess Colquia. She wore a skirt of snakes. She is often depicted as having 2 dragon heads. In the mythology of Sumeria, the goddess Tiamat in her fury would destroy all who challenged her. All that is, but the Babylonian sun god, Marduk. In a celestial battle which took place in the heavens, Marduk slew Tiamat. Then, from Tiamat's dismembered body, he fashioned the heavens and the earth. From her dragon's blood Marduk created man. Nidhogg is said to be the dragon father of an underground world known by the Norse as Niflheim. The other rings are unknown, although not entirely, and have been lost to myth and legend. Possibly they are in the Northlands. I will predict the evidence of such a civilization will be found by the first generation born to the 21st century, as well the rediscovery of lands around the North and South Poles that will re-emerge not only into our conscious awareness but actually be physically rediscovered. Other truths embedded in the labyrinth of mythical legends such as Methuselah, who was brought into the order of dragon priests as a youth, which accounted for his extremely long life. The order of Melchizedek was rumored to have many dragon lords. The mythical Merlin of Arthurian legend became a dragon wizard in his 20s and probably became a dragon lord. His most powerful magic drew from the Earth's own life force through the symbiotic relationship with the dragons of the underworld. Remember, it was this same Merlin who made the embracing of the new Christianity, by the Druid official with the marriage of Arthur to Guinevere. In Native American mythology there was a council of dragon priests that convened in the Black Hills area of the Dakotas 1,000 or so years before the return of the Younger Brothers and the Age of Conquest. Their council dispersed teachers throughout the native nations to activate certain ancient ceremonies. Their mission to the tribes was to establish a wise and prudent relationship that fostered a sustainable ecology, along with a stable social and intertribal spiritual structure that respected the ecosphere, and considered 7 generations with each action one took in their lives. The behavior of the ordinary actions of the tribes were often monitored by thunder beings, a powerful draconian force that interacted with the earthlings through the 2-horned and 1-horned priests that came from the heavens in flying orbs of light. European royalty also seems to have their share of secret dragon societies, one being the Dragon Sovereignty, known as the Rex Deus Fraternity. The Rex Deus was formally created by the Holy Roman Emperor Sigmund, having its origins with the Knights Templar during the 12th century. It is the story of the Knights Templar, and a behind-the-scenes society called the Preur de Zion, and its involvement in reinstating descendants of the Merovingian bloodline into political power. They lay claim to the bloodlines of Yeshua ben Yosef, otherwise known as the bloodline of the Holy Grail. Later in Scotland the royal house of Stuart also made such claim to the Holy Grail bloodline. There are records that affirm the fact that the bloodline entered Britain through Joseph of Arimathea, and James, brother to Jesus, Jesus, Sananda, who came to Glastonbury, along with the children of Jesus and Magdalene. Sir Lawrence Gardner, Bloodlines of the Holy Grail. One thing that has to be taken under consideration with this tale of the bloodlines of the Holy Grail is that many historical documents do exist to support it. It is no longer a question of concocted myth. There is one problem with Europeans, a problem which has continued since the first arrival of Columbus: nothing exists beyond their scope of perception, has sanctioned historical beliefs. Beliefs which have continuously been found out over the centuries to be contrived, and heavily edited translations of what actually occurred. In future presentations we will explore the sacred books of the Inca and the Maya, such as the Kilambalam, which speak of the Christos, and the ancient brotherhood. As well make continuous references to there having been a very real pale prophet. One might put themselves at ease about this matter, if they took the time to find out that there was no such a term as Christian, until the term was created by the Emperor Tiberius Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, at Antioch, when he needed to name the group responsible for the revolt in Syria, that was going on. In that time the first church called Christian was formed by Peter the Apostle in 37 AD. Prior to that the followers of the radical teachings of the Nazarene were looked upon as and called Jews, and their symbol was a scene. The symbol of the fish was actually a symbol that linked back to the Fisher Kings, and the ancient brotherhoods of the past. The ancient mystery schools which Yeshua was a part of. The fish symbol is very old and has been used for millennia worldwide as a religious symbol associated with the Great Mother Goddess. This simple design was easy to draw and used by early followers of the teachings of the Apostles, the ancient Nazarene way of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah, before there was a formal church established at Antioch, by Peter. There were two branches of Essenes, the Assaenes and the Nazarene. The southern Assaenes were known as the Bnei Zadok, or children of Zadok. The northern Nazarene were known as the Bnei Amen, or children of God.